Garrett Sims been shooting it well of late. They got to find him in transition behind that three-point line.
And Nayrad has been the biggest surprise. What a find he has been, earning his chance through injuries. This guy right here, Dana Altman, really coaching him up.
Doing a terrific job. Everybody thought that they would be really, really down this year with all the attrition from last year. New system, new coach, obviously, but he has done a terrific job keeping them in the mix.
Bruins will be without Brendan Lane. He is back in Boston at his grandmother's funeral, so a little short in the depth department for UCLA. And they're going to start Anthony Stover, who has been a spot starter at the center position.
They've been going with Stover some. They've been going with the three-guard lineup some, but Stover's been doing a nice job defensively until Josh Smith gets in the game.
In fact, it was the three-guard lineup for Coach Ben Howland that really got them back in that game up at Matthew Knight Arena.
I think you're going to see a lot because of that first game, but the pressure of Oregon, you got to have more ball handlers out there. I think we'll see a lot of Jeremy Anderson and Zeke Jones on the court together tonight.
Courtney Jones, one guy who is really trying to make amends for his game up in Oregon, is Reeves Nelson.
When UCLA played Oregon on the road, Reeves Nelson, you're right, Billy, had a very tough game. He played 15 minutes, he fouled out, and for the first time in his career, he did not score a point. Now, when I asked him, what did Oregon do to hold you scoreless, he told me it was less of what the Ducks were able to do and more of what I didn't do. Tonight, there's a bit of unfinished business here for Nelson. He told me he plans to let the game come to him, but the key is to not force it. The Bruins leading scorer is hoping for better results the second time around, guys.
Thank you, Courtney. You know, Nelson was matched up with Singler a lot in that game, but I think Reeves might see a lot of Catron tonight in this game.
Yeah, now the Catron's in there, and that's obviously the marquee matchup tonight, Nelson and Catron. But you're right, Billy, what you talked about in the open, the guards, turnovers, going to be a big thing for UCLA tonight.
Yeah, Ducks just don't turn the ball over. It's amazing.
And UCLA, even though they're better, still at right around 15 turnovers a game.
Here we go. Bruins in their home white trimmed in gold and blue, moving left to right here in half number one. Lazarick Jones, boy, he is banged up. Both hands, by the way, he's having issues with. And he's got it out on the point, was 0 for 6 on Saturday morning against St. John's.
Yeah, he's got heavy tape on that left hand.
Tyler Honeycutt lets fly for a three, and Garrett Sim, who scored the first points in that new arena a few weeks back, has the rebound. Here's Lloyd. Won't shoot a whole lot, but really gets guys in good position to score.
Yeah, they do a nice job offensively, and again, for Oregon, new coach, new system. It's taken them a while to get comfortable. In the last few weeks here, I think they've really gotten a lot more comfortable offensively.
A red boy will back it out. This team is shooting so much better than they were in non-conference, especially this guy right here, Sim, who's off, and Stover has the rebound.
UCLA's got to look to push. The zone for Oregon pretty good. UCLA's proven that they're better playing in the transition game versus setting up and playing half-court offense against the zone.
And Donnie Mac, it's an active zone. It's a hard-playing zone for the Oregon Ducks.
Yeah, they get out to shooters. Not as much ball pressure, but they get to everybody. It's active. No one gets left alone.
They cover all their spots. Here's Zeke Jones with 10 on the shot clock. Down low to Stover. Turn. Little jump hook. Not going to get there. Reeves Nelson has it. He's fouled going up. He had 17 rebounds, a career high against St. John's on Saturday.
Take another look at it, and again, when you play zone, it's hard to rebound out of it. Nelson just gets in there, gets good position, and goes straight back up with it. But yeah, the 17 rebounds on Saturday morning were career high for Nelson. He just continues to amaze with his motor on the glass. He is undersized, and we don't talk about that a lot. For a power forward in high major Division I college basketball, not big, but he makes up for it with his effort.
By the way, Lloyd picked up the foul, first personal, first team. Make one, miss one for Reeves Nelson. Out of those 17 rebounds, 6 were on the offensive end. Catron had a layup if he wanted it. Gives it up to Nayrad, who can't score. At the front, Nelson gets tripped up, and if that's Lloyd, that's number 2. It is Brandon Lloyd, or Jonathan Lloyd, excuse me. Jonathan Lloyd, his second.
Well, with all the buildup of the Nelson-Catron matchup, Stover's actually starting on him defensively, but that will change when Josh Smith comes into the game. But UCLA got away with one on the defensive end. Should have been an easy layup. UCLA retains possession here.
How about a minute and a half into the game? Armstead's got to come in, and Lloyd goes to the bench. With 2 quick fouls. Baseline, Honeycutt. You mentioned you think he should be more aggressive on the offensive
end. I think they got to get him going. If they're going to make a late push and try and win this conference championship, Honeycutt's got to raise his level back up.
Zeke Jones has it knocked away as he and Armstead are already talking to each other. Pair number 11 squaring off. There's a Honeycutt. When he's on, he is the quintessential stat filler. Really gives you an effort in every possible category.
And still giving it defensively, but I just think offensively, if they're going to, again, try and win this conference championship, they need more from him on the offensive end.
Nelson throws it away. Steal and score. 9th all-time in Duck history. Stealing the basketball. Armstead goes coast to coast.
Good defender. And if they were playing man-to-man, he would guard the opposing team's best wing player, but they showed a little bit of it there, that pressure, three-quarter court pressure, and they drop back into a zone. Take a look at it. This was just a bad decision by Nelson. Armstead right there picks it off and finishes going the other way.
You know, in talking to the Bruin coaches this week, that's what they said, the #1 problem, turning the ball over. And then conversely, that's the strong suit for the Oregon Ducks.
Well, and we talked about Jeremy Anderson a lot last year and his decision-making and turnovers, and he is much improved this year. It's more of an across-the-board situation for UCLA now. Honeycutt turns it over a little more than he should. Nelson turns it over a little bit more than he should. But as I mentioned earlier, right under 15 a game, 14.9 turnovers a game, still a bit too much for UCLA.
And you know, Ben Howland will use his timeouts whenever he's burning, and he burns one right there. By the way, Kevin Brill, Tony Padilla, Bob Stappen are 3 referees here. A lot of talk about the fouls or the disparity on Saturday when the Bruins had 34 more free throws in St. John's.
Yeah, you don't see that very often. 41 attempts to 7 attempts. St. John's brought their Big East game out west and didn't go so well with the officials.
E.J. Singler, whose brother played in that big game last night, Duke in North Carolina. And Cameron, I know a lot of you probably watched that. Katron guarded by Stover. He backs in. Boy, he's a nightmare matchup, but Stover with those long arms knocks it away.
Great recovery by Stover. It looked like Katron was just going to go over that right shoulder and score, and Stover got back to it and blocked it.
Katron's got an impressive wingspan himself. Zeke Jones guns it to Malcolm Lee. Lee in the air, hang, not going to get there, puts it up. No, Stover tips it up, not going to get there. Bruins are banging the offensive glass, and we've got a foul underneath.
Well, that's one of the things Oregon, and that's part of the reason why they play zone, is they're not real big. UCLA's got a big size advantage in this one. Let's go back to the other end, and Katron just wheels into the middle, looked like an easy bucket, and Stover recovers. And look at UCLA. They got 4 guys on that offensive board. Finally get a foul.
Malcolm Lee knocks it down. From the outside, the 6'5" junior who had 15 points on Saturday.
And had 18 to lead UCLA at Oregon the last time these two teams played.
And if you are not familiar with the Bruins, maybe the best defensive player in the conference. Jacob is in the game, bad knees and all. He's going to play tonight. He hasn't played the last couple.
Dane Altman told me before the game, it's whether or not he warms up if he's going to play or not.
So he's in there right now. Armstead, after the miss by Honeycutt, flying to the basket and scoring is E.J. Singler, the sophomore, and the #2 option offensively for this team.
Oregon playing with a lot of energy right now. Getting turnovers, they've got some transition buckets. UCLA's got to find a way to score, pound it inside. Josh Smith coming in at the next dead ball.
Remember they met back the second game ever played at Matt Arena, and UCLA beat the Ducks 67-59 after being down significantly early in that game. Jones, good pass. Honeycutt, will that count if it goes? It doesn't go, and he'll go to the line and shoot 2, but we'll take a break. Malcolm Lee knocking it down from the outside, the rock as far as this team is concerned. We will be back. 4.5 minutes in, we're tied at 4.
Enjoy a complete seafood dinner for 2 for just $29.99 at Red Lobster with fresh salads and biscuits, your choice of entrees, and an appetizer or a dessert to share. And soon at Red Lobster.
Diamonds. Compare this chain store's 1 carat for $33.99 with the Jewelry Exchange certified 1 carats for $18.90. 1 to 2 carat traditional are just $9.90 per carat. Thousands guaranteed the lowest price, plus no interest for 6 months. Buy direct. The Jewelry Exchange in Tustin.
You're watching Prime Ticket, home of Clippers basketball.
Where do you think the strongest muscles in your body are? Abs? Biceps? They're in your eyes. But just sitting in front of a computer can strain and fatigue them, causing headaches. Now, think about this. Today, your eye doctor has new technology designed to combat that. Isn't it time you thought about seeing him yearly? Go to thinkaboutyouryes.com to learn more and for a list of local eye doctors. To keep those muscles feeling fit.
Enjoying your cop doctor sci-fi dramedy sitcom? Great. But when it's over, don't just wander on another channel-flipping safari. Live a little, or a lot, because that's what you get at Harrah's Rincon, where you can play, dine, and relax with a few of your favorite friends, and where no night is a rerun. So cue up your DVR, make a few calls, and get your fun into gear at Harrah's Rincon. We now return you to your regularly scheduled commercials. Play, dine, relax. Harrah's Rincon.
Well, we're just 4.5 minutes in. Ducks already have 14 fouls. Bruins don't have any. The Bruins hitting that offensive glass have 3. None for the Ducks. But right now, Donnie Mac, take us around the Pac-10. Got a couple of scores right now.
Important time at Stanford. Washington State just cannot figure them out. Washington bounces back after losing 3 in a row to handle Cal. But again, Washington State, you just can't figure them out. One week, they look like world beaters, and the next, they drop a game like that that's obviously a winnable game at home against Stanford.
Shocked Arizona's that good, 20-4 and 9-2?
Yes.
Yeah, so
but I did think that they would be good, and I thought them and Washington would be the two teams battling it out at the end. UCLA now in that mix. But 20-4, quite a turnaround for Sean Miller after going 16-15 last year.
This Oregon team swept the Washington schools last weekend, and by the way, when they won at Stanford, first time in a quarter century they had won on the farm.
Well, Mike Montgomery had it going for so long at Stanford with so many good teams. I guess not surprising, but anytime you have a 25-year streak going, it's pretty good.
All right, free throws missed. Underneath, battle, out of bounds. By the way, UCLA coming off that win against St. John's. Big win for them because it was a nationally televised game. They've now got a win over BYU and St. John's, their signature wins. And you mentioned Arizona. Just looking down the road, that game here is going to be huge as far as their NCAA resume.
Hopefully both teams continue to play well and don't stumble. That'll set up to be a monster game here in a couple weeks.
All right, Josh Smith is in the game. He just fumbled the pass from Reeves Nelson. Second turnover for UCLA. There he is, and he has just become so much more aggressive the last couple of weeks, getting to the rim, going to the basket. And by the way, he credits Jeremy Anderson for it. Yeah. Jeremy telling him, big fella, get to the basket.
Well, that is, nobody can move him. I mean, they can't keep him off the offensive board, averaging 3.5 offensive rebounds a game, which is a lot considering that he only plays 20 minutes a game.
Strowbridge, boy, that's his forte, three-point shooting, and he knocks it down. The 5'10 senior averaging just under 9 points a game.
Third on the team, and it wasn't a big part of what they did early, but he's been coming on late.
Yeah, had a great start, slam dunk Nelson, so he's got more than the first meeting. As he slams it home, he's got 3.
What a pass by Honeycutt, and what a finish by Nelson. The timing and the communication to make that play happen.
Reeves hitting 64% of his shots his last half dozen games. Josh Smith is on the floor. Out to Nelson. Now Honeycutt stops, looks, Lee underneath, blocked away. And that's a good play by Nared. He got back defensively.
Would have liked to see Malcolm maybe give that one up to Nelson underneath for an easier one.
Armstead, kick it, Strowbridge, goes around the pick. And that pick is set by Jeremy Jacob, and we got an offensive foul. Let's go back to that alley-oop a couple of plays ago.
Honeycutt's such a good passer, one of the better passers on the team from that small forward position. And it's a long pass, and it's right on the money. Nelson with the two-hand finish. UCLA's going to need more of that here tonight. Take advantage of Oregon selling out in their pressure and make them pay at the other end.
Jeremy Jacob picks up his first foul. 5 team fouls on the Ducks, and Williams, DeAndre Williams, is in the game.
Surprising you're playing zone to be picking up that many fouls this quickly.
That's true. Now Jones to the cutter. Anderson had a great game up in Oregon. 15 points. Good night. And Smith slams at home. He had 4 slams on Saturday.
That's the difference now. Whether it's confidence, his conditioning's better, but those plays now, instead of laying them at the rim, he's now turning them over and dunking the basketball.
And a great entry pass also. Honeycutt will be in when it's dead for UCLA.
And the significance of that is some might say, well, it's still 2 points, but you're going to miss some of those layups sometimes. It takes more effort to get up there and dunk it. Nice to see him doing it that way now.
Pac-10 player of the week runs into a stone wall of Josh Smith. Josh playing some good defense. Knocked out of bounds. It'll remain with the Ducks.
Josh Smith, Anderson, and Lee with a nice over the top. And again, dunk the basketball so that you know there's no way that you can miss it.
Catron's given up 4 or 5 inches on Josh Smith and a whole lot of weight.
Yeah, that over the top pass, I have a feeling is going to be there all night.
Foul on Zeke Jones, holding Nared underneath as he tried to get the lob pass for Zeke. That is his first team foul on UCLA 7 minutes into the game.
Probably a good foul by Zeke, though. You know, because it's only his first foul, and that was going to be an easy dunk for Nared if he let that pass go over the top.
You know, the Bruins had a very short bench. They had 6 guys play 27 minutes, and the next highest guy had 8 minutes, and that was Tyler Lamb, who's in the game, who Coach Howland is offering hopefully more minutes for.
Well, I think now that Josh Smith's staying out of foul trouble, you don't have to go as deep, though, because he's playing more minutes.
Catron can't knock down the mid-range. But a good offensive rebound again by Nared. So athletic, outside, no good. Rebound taken by Smith on the miss by Williams. Jeremy Anderson, Canyon High School, stops, looks, his decision-making is so much better. Here's Tyler Lamb playing his best basketball as a Bruin. Cross-court pass. Lee can't knock down the jumper, but Honeycutt, whoa, tries a no-look under to Smith, and it's knocked away.
Well, first of all, great effort by Honeycutt to get to that offensive rebound, and that would have been an unbelievable delivery had that been completed to Josh Smith. Watch it. Quick no-looker, and Bruins get it back.
E.J. Singler back in the game. You know, there was some insinuations from the Bruins and from Reeves Nelson that maybe E.J. was playing a little dirty when they played last time. You and I did that game, and we didn't see anything of the sort.
We were at that game, and if playing hard is playing dirty, then that's the case. But we didn't see anything that led me to believe that Singler was cheap shotting or throwing elbows or doing anything like that.
But as Reeves said, he's not going to make anything of it here tonight, just going to try to play a little bit harder. Here's Honeycutt under the key, can't knock it down. Rebound taken by Armstead, and here's the blow out of the backcourt.
UCLA settling for a lot of jumpers against that zone here early.
How about Strowbridge, the little guy, all the way, the Jacksonville State transfer, and it's 9-8 Oregon.
See, I'd like to see UCLA get a little more aggressive like this against the pressure and make them pay at the other end.
Anderson cross-court again. Here's Lamb. Fly just going to be short. Rebound, Williams, weak side.
If you go quickly against pressure, usually you get something better at the other end.
Boy, that's 2 bad defensive efforts by UCLA on transition as Armstead goes all the way to the cup to score. He's got 4 points.
Well, that's still somewhat of an issue for UCLA this year. Now, it's better than last year, but the blow-bys at the front line of the defense still happen more than they should. And Anderson's got to find a way to keep him in front. That's just a straight line drive. And then where's the help side defense on the back end? Guys got to see the ball and be able to challenge that shot.
Well, you know, it's interesting. Well, we'll get to it in a second about the Bruins, how they've changed things defensively in their pressure. I want to remind you to check out the #1 free sports app on iPhones, the all-new Fox Sports app with live scoring videos and all the latest on sports in Southern California. It's free and available on iPhones right now. The Bruins are backing up their half-court pressure a little bit to just a step outside of the three-point line.
And here's the thing. That allows the guy to get a bigger head of steam coming at you. So you got to be careful with that. You want to press up. You have to stop the ball. So even if you're picking up farther back, you still have to stop the ball. You can't let them come at you with a full head of steam.
Well, they noticed that Duke was pressuring St. John's way out by half court, and it burned St. John's. So UCLA did the opposite, and now they're kind of doing the same against Oregon. Look at the quickness of Strowbridge. He is going to the rack with authority.
They're just beating them down the court. And again, where's the backline defense? Josh Smith, Tyler Lamb, anybody's got a challenge at the rim.
Strowbridge has 7 points. It's 13-8. 6-0 run for the Ducks. With 10.5 to play in the first half. We are at Pauley Pavilion live tonight at UCLA. As I mentioned, 2 hot teams, Oregon Well, it's such a different team from the team that lost to San Jose State and Idaho at home earlier this year.
It's really difficult when you got a new coach.
Count the basket, to the line, Malcolm Lee. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I want you to tell me and tell everybody the difference in systems, what Ernie Kent was running, and a little bit what Coach Dana Altman is trying to run here now with the new system at Oregon. We'll see in a minute.
Jack, what is this?
My spicy chicken sandwich?
How long have you had a spicy chicken sandwich?
Forever. My spicy chicken sandwich is a classic, with a spicy, crispy, all-white meat chicken breast, lettuce, tomato, and mayo on a sesame seed bun.
I thought I knew you. What else are you hiding from me?
Nothing. I think she's on to us.
A guy named his own price wants a room tonight for $65.
We don't go lower than 130.
Big deal. Persuade.
Is it wise to allow a perishable item to spoil?
He asked, why leave a room empty?
The additional revenue easily covers operating costs.
$65 better than no dollars.
Okay, 65 for tonight.
You can't argue with a big deal.
We made it faster than a Mercedes C350. Gave it more torque than an Audi A4. And more horsepower than a BMW 335i. The new 2011 Lexus IS 350. Because it isn't real performance unless it's wielded with precision. See your Southern California Lexus dealer.
Back at Pauley Pavilion, Oregon leading UCLA 13-10. Let's go back a couple plays and revisit what we were talking about in picking the ball up. Now, if they go here and back up their defense, you still have to stop the ball. See, Jeremy Anderson's still moving. He hasn't stopped the ball, let it run. And then with the guy still moving, he can blow by you. You're at a standstill. He's going forward. It's awfully hard to get yourself going fast enough to get back in front of him. So UCLA, even if you are going to pick up deeper, you still got to stop that ball.
Oregon 6-0 in fast break points. And one of the strengths of this team is also their bench. They have outscored their opponents on the bench 5 of the last 7 games. And right now they're outscoring UCLA's bench 11-2.
Well, like a lot of teams in this conference, they play a lot of guys. So a lot of guys get a lot of opportunity to play. They've done a nice job.
And conversely, like we're saying, UCLA doesn't play that many guys, especially with Brendan Lane not even here. Catron underneath with the left hand scores. Just willed his way and muscled it up and over Stover.
That's what he does. He puts that right shoulder into you, bumps you off, and then goes up with the left hand.
Donnie Mackey has added a bit of a face-up game, though, which has really helped him.
Well, it's helped him because now you can't just put a big guy on him and hope that he doesn't pound him down there. He can step out and drag a guy like Stover, Josh Smith out on the perimeter.
Jones, now to Malcolm Lee. Kick it over to Lamb, who's still in the game. Only played 8 minutes against St. John's, but hit 2 huge threes in the first half.
That free throw line is wide open for UCLA. They're not taking advantage of it.
He's going to knock down a three-pointer, though. Malcolm Lee, Bruins on the year, 33% from beyond the arc. And how about Malcolm? 9 points halfway through this first half.
Good shot by Malcolm, but I don't think UCLA can win this game if they only shoot perimeter shots against his zone.
All right, how's this offense different than when Ernie Kent was running it?
Well, Ernie Kent got up and down, but you know, Dana Altman's just getting going. He's got to recruit his own players. He's essentially coaching with Ernie Kent's players. So I think that remains to be seen, what his philosophy and how they're going to be once he recruits the guys that he wants. But for now, he's doing a nice job with the personnel that was left by Ernie Kent.
And he's really got him buying into the zone defense, and he switches up quite a bit and presses, as we've seen and we will see, especially on the pace. Stover fumbles underneath, got to get out of the key, and leaves it out for Reeves Nelson. Behind Jeremy Anderson, Jones couldn't click.
Good idea by Zeke. He was going to go up for the shot, saw Honeycutt slashing through there, and just couldn't deliver him the ball.
Third turnover for UCLA. Ducks lead by 1, 15-14. Sim.
I like like that they got Honeycutt on Sim.
Whoa, Stover, a good play, knocks it away from behind. Well, that's a mismatched highlight too. Stover, his second block of the night. Here it is again.
Stover, another good recovery. Gets back to Katron, gets a piece of that ball. Little Exmo for you tonight. Stover swatting that thing away, but getting back to Honeycutt. I like him on Sim. Sim, the shooter, catch and shoot guy. A lot of length that Honeycutt, that Sim's got to deal with in Honeycutt.
Both those block shots by Stover. UCLA, best in the conference in that regard.
Here's a matchup we've been looking for.
Katron and Nelson.
Katron.
A couple of muscle guys down there. It'll be fun to watch. Mayred goes hard to the hole. Look out! Josh Smith blocks it away, but it goes right back to Sim. No reset on the shot clock. Armstead can't control. Rebound taken by Nelson. It's a 3-on-2. Nelson, left wing. Anderson ride it up and miss it. No whistle. They let him play. Nelson gets it to Anderson and travel. No basket. Traveling Reeves Nelson, who pleads his case.
We were blocked out. Hopefully we can get a look at it, but I think he went up and came down and his feet hit the ground before he passed it. But UCLA's got to convert those transition opportunities. They had 3-on-2. Anderson, no call there. Reeves gets it, and his foot hits the ground before he passes that ball.
The Ducks, Armstead's one of those guys. If he can get in double figures along with maybe a Sim, they're going to be in good shape because Katron will get there, so will Singler. But they need that depth in scoring. Foul is on Reeves Nelson. That is his first, the team's second. Katron getting warm right now, Donnie Mack.
Just moving people out of the way. Katron finishes with the left hand. They're up 3.
Number 1 in NCAA team championships. Tradition. Passion. Excellence. The Bruin way. UCLA, champions made here. For tickets, call 310-UCLA-WIN or visit UCLABruins.com.
El Pollo Loco introduces new fish tacos for a limited time only. Bite into our classic Baja fish taco or fire it up with our spicy avocado fish taco. With a burst of citrus, El Pollo Loco's new fish tacos are a limited time flavor experience.
Hey, Honda guy. I'm thinking about getting one of those cars they claim is as good as a Honda.
Yeah, I wouldn't risk it. You can lease an Accord LX with 0 down and 0 due at signing for only $250 a month. That's like $8 a day. That's less than a small one-topping pizza for an Accord. Car and Driver just voted the Accord a Best Buy a record 25th time.
Wow, almost blew it.
It's my job to be helpful.
Switch seats with me?
This is your captain. We are 41st in line for takeoff.
I am what I eat. I want my chicken fresh. With fire. Real fire.
If that makes me loco.
Then I'm loco.
For a limited time, get a free $5 Loco cash card with any delicious family meal purchase.
Welcome back to Pauley Pavilion, where the Bruins are trailing the Ducks by 3. Now, right outside these doors, UCLA's Pauley Pavilion is undergoing a massive facelift. The $136 million construction project has been underway for about a year now. Now, it's projected to reopen fall of 2012. It's going to be state-of-the-art. There's going to be a substantial increase in restrooms, concession stands, and a large, beautiful new concourse space, and over 1,000 more seats. I went on a tour of the facility recently, guys, and at halftime, stay tuned for a behind-the-scenes look at Pauley. There's a huge hole in the ground that very few people have seen during construction. We'll take you there at half.
And by the way, Dan Guerrero will be with us. He wanted to come on and talk about the progress in the new arena and also spring sports, which are coming up at UCLA. So the AD, Dan Guerrero, will be visiting with us also. How about the points in the paint, D-Mac? 14-6, Oregon over UCLA.
Yeah, kind of give them a taste of their own medicine, but a lot of those are transition and layups, not post-ups into the bigs. It's just straight-line drives for layups.
And right now the Bruins haven't really gone small like they did with so much success up at Nat Arena. Here's Lee. Boy, he's been living on the outside. Not this time. Smith just moving that body.
Just carrying guys across the lane.
You know, it's funny, talking to Scott Garson, one of the assistant coaches, and he was making a comparison. I guess it's apples to apples, maybe apples to oranges. He goes, he's kind of like Shaq in the way, but you have to look at the competition. But he goes, he's almost unguardable at times, and he gets fouled just about every time he gets the ball.
Guys, when you're playing against somebody in basketball and you cannot move them, and they can get to their spot, well, guess what? They're going to win most of the time, and that's the case with Josh. He gets to his spot, you can't move him off of it, and that's why he gets all those offensive rebounds.
Especially when you don't have that many big guys in this conference, or really even around the country. That's why he is very Shaq-like in that regard.
Absolutely.
Get him the ball as much as possible, especially against the zone. Here's Armstead trying to blow right around Smith. He just kind of reaches out an arm and stops him and fouls him.
That was his problem early in the year, why he had so much foul trouble. You know, UCLA teaches how to hedge those ball screens, and he was out high doing that early in the season. Not doing it now, but that time you can see slow to react and takes the foul. He's got to stop doing those if he wants to, and he has been not doing that, and that's why he's been staying in the game.
Just his first foul. We have 7 minutes remaining, and Ben Howland has done a great job of getting him on the pine when he does get in trouble and really working that revolving door on the bench. Strowbridge, now to Nared. He tried to go around Smith and kicks it out of bounds, but he was headed for the basket that time. 4th turnover for Oregon, where dribble penetration has been a problem for UCLA.
UCLA's got to somehow keep these small guys for Oregon in front of them.
Reeves Nelson. By the way, Zeke Jones will be in when it's dead. Tyler Honeycutt now to Jeremy Anderson. Under to Smith, there's the immediate double, and it's knocked out of bounds. Good defense and good recognition by the Ducks.
Well, they have to get it into Josh Smith, and either he scores or he kicks it out a little inside out, and they go down to double Smith. You see Armstead go down there, and they get the turnover, but Josh has got to either go quick to score or quickly get it back outside, because if he kicks that back out to the wing, they got a wide open shot from that wing.
Mentioned the last 2 weeks coming into his own. He averaged 17 and 7 last week against SC and St. John's and shot 68% from the floor. Strowbridge has really been a pain for UCLA so far tonight. Here's Katron. Nelson, pretty good job defensively on it.
And Nelson's been stepping up with his individual defense of late. Did a nice job on Vucevic in the second half of that SC game last week. Another bucket.
JR, he's got 10.
They better find him, and they're doing a better job than UCLA is a ball movement, player movement, to get the shot that they want. UCLA still a little bit stagnant against his zone.
10 points. He's 4 for 4 from the field. Good look, good cut, nice slam by Malcolm Lee.
Player movement, and that's what you need. Malcolm backdoor, nice cut, nice delivery. Finishes with the two-hand dunk.
Malcolm's got 11. This time Nelson, as Katron got the first step on him and got around him, and the hip of Nelson fouled him.
Well, that's Nelson's second, so it'll be interesting to see if Coach Allen takes him out. But Honeycutt, and how many good passes has Honeycutt made in this first half? Another one to Malcolm Lee for the dunk.
Honeycutt has 3 assists for UCLA. Zeke Jones has a couple. Bruins have 4 team fouls, but the outside shooting now starting to warm up for Oregon.
There you see what we were talking about earlier. Smith goes on to Katron because Nelson goes out, steps out, knocks down a 3.
And one thing we'll see from Katron, he will get to the line. He has 100 makes this year so far, but 140 attempts, so he will be aggressive and he'll get to the line tonight. There he is, but the ability to step out is a huge part of his game now.
Yeah, and you like the unselfishness of Honeycutt, but that's a jumper. And that play was what we were talking about earlier. That play, he's got to be looking to score, knock down that free throw line jumper.
Jeremy Anderson, that's fresh snow from the right side. He let fly quickly.
At 15 in the last game at Oregon, tied his career high. A lot of times guys draw off a previous experience. You know, he played well against this Oregon team. Interesting to see if he has another good second half like he did up in Eugene.
You're going to get in trouble, and I think Katron realizes that if he gets the ball out there and gets that first step on Smith, he's going to either get a basket or pick up a foul every time.
I'll tell you what he's thinking. He's thinking if he drops off, I'm knocking a 3 down, but if he comes up, I'm going to go by him, and he's either going to foul me or let me go. That time Smith fouled him.
I would not be shocked if that's all we've seen of Smith for the half. You don't want to get that third foul in half number one. Stover's in. Honeycutt's got the rebound. It's 24-19, Bruins down.
Well, Stover's going to have to do a job.
Offensively, he's not anywhere close to what Smith is. Defensively, though, he's pretty good. Here's a prayer thrown up, tipped by Honeycutt. No, they battle for it. On the floor is Singler. Oh, a foul on Honeycutt. Tyler Honeycutt picks it up, trying to go for that loose basketball.
And that's free throws.
Well, not quite. I think that's number 6. Is that number 6? Yeah.
It is number 6.
First personal 16 foul.
That now puts him in the bonus, but Singler's one of those guys. He's going to stay after it and give you every ounce of effort. Not as talented as his brother Kyle, but the second leading scorer on this Oregon team, and a big part of what they do defensively, gives the effort every single night.
Williams checks in. He's 6'4", gifted, but the other guys have kind of moved him out of the lineup a little bit. But he gives you a little bit of size at 6'4", and he's started by Honeycutt.
Yeah, he can shoot it too. You got to watch him. One of those guys, if he hits his first one or two, he can get it going.
Yeah, that's the book on Sin, who's in the game. Also, great play by Jeremy Anderson. He throws it up in the air. Is this going to work out? Not quite. It's taken by the Ducks. That was a little risky. Some of the Bruins were already headed the other way. Got a whistle away from the ball.
Pretty good save by Anderson. A nice job to throw it far enough that it didn't give Oregon a quick score, but gave them back to possession.
All right, what's the discussion? Is it a shot clock? It is. 32 is going to be
the
what
shot
it's
clock was at 8. They reset it, and then minus the 3 seconds after Anderson saved it, so 32.
Armstead from the state of Alabama. Well, isolated a bit is Jacob. Boy, Jacob with those bad knees is somehow trying to gut it out here tonight. Armstead will throw it up and throw it in. Malcolm Armstead, he's got 6.
Yeah, he's been sharp tonight, looking to be aggressive, looking to attack in the paint.
He logs 27 minutes per off the bench. So, you know, he had some great stats coming back this year. He was a product of that Ernie Kent era, though. Kind of more of a freelance guard. He's having trouble adjusting to the system a little bit.
Sometimes that happens. New coach, and don't get off on the right foot, whatever it may be. But he's having a night tonight. And Armstead finishing with the floater over the long arm of Anthony Stover. Oregon's got a 7-point lead.
Experience a new dimension in your Blu-ray movies and video games with eye-popping 3D. Intuitive innovation built around the way you play. Just what you'd expect from Toshiba. Visit us.toshiba.com.
The PGA Tour is coming to LA. See the world's best golfers at the Northern Trust Open. February 15th to the 20th at the legendary Riviera Country Club. Tickets $35, $30 in advance at northernTrustOpen.com.
We began with a sports car. And ended with one. Introducing the TSX Sport Wagon from Acura.
Introducing Toshiba satellite laptops with Intel wireless display. Play the videos you love on your PC and watch them on your TV with just a click. To see more common sense innovations, visit us.toshiba.com.
UCLA Hoops are being brought to you by newegg.com. Best place to buy online for 7 years. Join 14 million geeks already saving on electronics and more at newegg.com.
They do a nice job in their offense of isolating players into one-on-one situations, and he's very good around the basket, but yet you'll see that when Josh, for example, gets matched up having to guard him at times, that they'll try to space him out on the perimeter and make Josh have to come out and respect his outside shot, and then he'll look to drive some too even. So it's going to be a very hard matchup trying to keep up with him.
And we've already seen that here tonight with Katron. He's got 8 points, but we've seen the 3-ball. We've seen him drive past Smith and pick up a couple fouls, but they do a lot of different things with him. But if you can do it, if you're that big and you can score inside and out, they're going to give you different opportunities. And you see just what Coach Allen was talking about right there. Put him on the perimeter, give him space, and he draws a foul on Josh Smith on that possession.
Who's got 2 fouls. Oregon shooting 44% from the field. UCLA just 32%, which is well below their season average of 42%.
Well, when they've been moving like that play there, they've been scoring. It's when they've been passing it around the perimeter and shooting long jumpers is how Oregon's been able to get stops.
That's cash for Tyler Honeycutt. He had 11 the other day, but shot just 1 for 5. That's his first basket done, and it comes with 3 minutes to go in the half.
With his size and his release point, people can't block his jump shot.
Boy, the shooter's roll that time by Jeremy Jacob. You know, they were seriously considering shutting him down for the year if he wasn't going to be able to play this week.
Well, he was a big contributor last year, started most of the year. And it's hard to play with bad knees, obviously, but he's giving it a go.
And Armstead's got 5 assists off the bench tonight. Good job for him. Stolen away, another Bruin turnover. Here's Jacob, kicks it out to Williams. 6 turnovers for UCLA. Armstead with 2.5 to go and a very solid first half for the Ducks.
Just finishing that point about Honeycutt, it's hard to block jump shots in general, but when you're as tall as Honeycutt is and your release point is that high, you can shoot over the top of most people. He needs to get inside that zone and shoot over people.
He's 6'8" is Tyler Honeycutt. Traveling with the ball is Jacob. He's a junior. He's also 6'8". Handful of turnovers now for Oregon. There's Tyler. Averages 33.5 minutes a game.
UCLA's got to finish this last 2 minutes of the first half positively.
This is a team that has learned how to win games late. That is the one big change and reason why they're on the 7 out of 8, 13 of 16.
Zeke Jones has been a big part of that.
Honeycutt jumps wide open, moves in. That's a 2-pointer. Got it. Smart.
Right on cue.
You know, he's hurt. You know, when you talk to the coaches, the number one thing is when they think of Zeke, just get healthy. He's been nicked up a lot.
Well, and he's a first-year player, but he's a junior, so he's got more experience than a freshman would have. But late in the games, he's been really good at taking care of the ball, and he leads the Pac-10 in free throw shooting.
Where would this team be without him? Zeke Jones, he's solidified. He helped solidify that spot, which had been such a problem last year.
The point guard has to be able to make free throws, especially late.
Look at Strowbridge, just like that. He's in, he's out, he's outside again. Lightning quick. Armstead looked for Nayred, wasn't there. Sim hasn't gotten untrapped. Nayred back in with Honeycutt. There's 6 on the shot clock, thrown away. Zeke's got 2 trailers. See if he gives it to him. Tried to. Fouled by Strowbridge.
I think they're going to give him 2 shots, though, and Zeke was definitely looking to pass that back.
It would have been 1-1, but he's going to get 2 nonetheless. 18 foul.
Watch at the tail end. He knows these guys are trailing. He was going to pass that back to Honeycutt for the dunk, but he gets 2 free throws out of it anyway.
Jones, the junior, you mentioned the JC transfer from Chicago, and such a leader on this team. Bruins right now down 28-23. It's like a library right now. Everybody's silent. Courtney Jones, what you got?
Talk about a man playing through pain, guys. UCLA's Derek Jones is still nursing a middle finger injury on his right hand and a sprained left wrist on his left hand. And I talked to him before the game, and he said his left wrist is taped with a plastic splint. He said trainers do not want any movement with the wrist. And he said he hit a few shots early in practice, and he will just see how it goes tonight. But, Don, you know a thing or two about scoring. How could that kind of injury affect the shot?
I don't like anything. I didn't like anything on my hands, and I think that's the biggest thing, whether it's painful or not. When you're playing with tape or anything on your fingers or hand, it's obviously different than what you're used to. It makes it more challenging.
And don't underestimate having that offhand taped up either, the one you know, that's on the basketball. And they were going to put kind of a soft cast on. It looks just like a tape job, though, a little bit. There's Anthony Stover wearing that headband high. Look at that look.
Did he start the game with it like that?
I don't know, but that's not really doing what it's supposed to be doing. You know, it's supposed to be there to get the sweat.
So the sweat doesn't get into your eyes.
Exactly. Rebound Stover.
We'll have to keep an eye on that as he comes out from halftime to see where his headband's at.
Malcolm Lee going hard to the hole. Not going to get the Stover. Good try, not there. Lee hits the deck, out of bounds, UCLA. So good hustle by the Bruins. Got 47.8 remaining in the half. Ducks lead by 3.
Extra dribble by Malcolm Lee cost him. He should have just caught and shot that, tried to get in there and get a layup, and the defense challenged him and he missed a shot.
Malcolm Lee has 11. No other Bruin has more than 4 in this one. Leading scorer Strowbridge for Oregon. He's got 10. There's Lee with that 11. Boy runs into a triple team and has it taken away.
Not a good decision by Zeke, trying to make something happen. You appreciate that, but you can't go into 3 guys and expect to come out of there with the ball.
Game clock 4 ahead of the shot clock.
They have closed the gap, though. It was 7, now it's 3, so UCLA's done a pretty good job of finishing this first half.
There you see the Bruin defense back way off. About 8 seconds now. Armstead will get into his motion. Here he goes. High pick by Catron. The roll by Catron. He's out on top. Catron gonna have to shoot it. They don't get a shot away.
Great defense by UCLA, and Catron had to let that first one fly. But UCLA had everyone covered.
I think Armstead got into the offense too late. He let it go down to about 6, maybe even 5 before he got going. Had to get going with about 10. Bruins got to get it in. Anderson's got time. Has it taken away. Armstead at the buzzer. That'll count if it goes, and it does not go. Interesting half. Oregon led by as many as 7. But the Bruins knock it down to 3. It's 28-25. Dan Guerrero will be with me here in just a matter of moments. Talk about the Pauley Pavilion renovation. Oregon keeps 44%, UCLA poll 35%, and they trail 28